Well, well. It was only a matter of time, wasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? It was only a matter of time before you knew I would strike back. It feels very, very strange to be in this scenario. It really, really does. But before we talk about that scenario, actually, no, let's just get that out of the way first, because I'm pretty sure it will be the biggest thing that people will want to know what's been happening. First off, what exactly happened? On the 11th of August, I suddenly while I was trying to just scour on YouTube, I opened up the app, and then all of a sudden it came up that I wasn't signed in, which I thought was particularly strange. So I went to sign in, and then I get a message from Google saying that unable to authorize account because all of my YouTube channels had been taken down. Every single one of them. Now, as to why they were taken down, here's exactly how it came to be. So I have to start at the beginning of this. On the 29th of March, I got contacted by a Brazilian group called Hellgarden. They said they would want me to check out their album Making Noise Living Fast, because this album was going to be released on the 10th of April, and they even sent over some links in which I could listen to their music, so then I could release these videos by the 10th of April. Not only did I make those videos, and not only did I release them on the 10th of April, because as per some written agreement that we had, and I've spoken to a lot of people about this, ladies and gentlemen, I can 100% use this in evidence. Because obviously they left their signature, I left my signature to show that an arrangement had been made, that not only would they share my videos via their social media, not only would I do the same, but they would also give give me shout outs to various groups all across South America that would want me to feature their music on their channels, on my channel, I should say. So we made this arrangement, and after about like a few weeks passed, basically by the end of April, I went onto their Facebook page, and I noticed they'd given shout outs, they'd mentions to other groups. No doubt they cultivate very small channels, I should fancy. And they did what they said to everyone except my channel. I could not see any of my videos anywhere on their Facebook page. They gave shout-outs to just about everyone else, and there must have been like about 50 plus channels they must have done, and they gave mentions to all of them except mine. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. So what I thought I would do is that I would email them, I would send them messages via Facebook saying, dudes, like, what's going on? We said we were going to agree to this, like, you haven't kept up your deal, so what the hell? Because I didn't want to just leave it lying there. I did not want to do that. What I wanted to do was to get their attention, i.e., I wanted to show them that I was serious about this and what a great asset I could be to these guys. So what I did on one of my secondary channels called Reality Zone is that I actually did quote-unquote remasters of these songs. The idea is that I went through Adobe Audition, because I'm quite good at that sort of thing. I tweaked up some of the audio, played around with a few settings here and there. I kept everything above board and all that, and I released it, and obviously this was not going to be for profit. Obviously not. Like, what was I going to profit here? None of those videos got beyond 20 views. There's no way anyone was going to profiteer off that. But the whole idea was that, guys, have you seen what I've done? Take a look at these. I think this is pretty cool. Tell me what you guys think. Suffice to say, I never received anything whatsoever. I don't know whether Hellgarden had just completely ignored me, or whether or not they got what they wanted, so they just literally jumped ship. So you thought, well, that's that. Then about 2 months later, I noticed that Reality Zone had been completely taken down, because all the remastered videos I'd done, there was about 8 in total, all were copyright striked. All of them were copyright striked, I should say, and the entire channel was taken down. I didn't actually you know, the more I think about it, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I might check out my emails about this later, maybe later. In fact, I tell you what, I'll do it now because I'm beginning to suspect, and I don't know what you guys think, but I don't quite remember. Right off the top of my head, I don't quite remember whether or not they mentioned who took them down in the first place. So let me just do something very, very quick. This shouldn't take too long. Check if it's me trying to sign in. Nah, it's not going to work on this. I'll just do it on... I'll get back to this 1 second. Because unfortunately this might take a while to find out. Let's see. Important. Let's see. Accounts Tuesday, August, July. July. Claim is being disputed. That's not technically what I was looking for. Let's see, June. I think it was like around about like June when this happened, but commercial staff, co-assistant. No, it must have been like a lot before that. Indeed, apply, EO retailer, Blizzard, Indeed, YouTube. Goes down as far as March. Why exactly this didn't come under important? That's a good question, because I think it's a pretty important thing to look into. No, it's not gonna. I'll look into if there's a development in this, I'll make sure to leave in the comments about what if I found out, because I couldn't remember. Because I kept thinking about this for days as to whether or not it was actually labelled down below whether or not they said who was responsible for taking them down, which seems a bit strange if you ask me. I couldn't remember if it was the record label or goodness knows who else. But again, I'll make sure to look into this. So anyway, you might think to yourself, well, fair enough, okay, you know what, these guys screwed you over, they weren't going to listen to you, and all they could do for you was to take down your channel. You might think to yourself, well, fair enough. So what I did is that I put all of my reactions to Hellgod on private. So you might suspect, well, you know what, they're not going to play ball, so I won't play ball either. So I'll just take those, just make sure that, you know what, they're not gonna help me out here, so I'll just make sure to get rid of them, put them on private so nobody could see them. Then what happened about 5 days ago was that, owing to the fact I couldn't get signed in, I received a few emails from Google saying that because my channels were linked to Reality Zone because they were under the same email address, all of them had been terminated. All of them had been taken down, and that was that. Because you have to remember is that on none of my other channels had received copyright strikes. None of them at all. And because of this incident, all of them had been terminated. 2 years of my life, well over 2,500 videos, nearly 35,000 hours gone. Just like that. Gone. Finite. Gesundheit. All of them wiped off the face of the earth. Everything with my name on it, that's it. Gone. So, it seems very, very strange to say something like that. Almost as if, like, Google were systematically trying to wipe me from the face of the earth. I was now a non-person. I had been vaporized. Raging Reality had ceased to exist. I had never existed. Now, I know what some of you guys might possibly be thinking to yourselves at the first thing here is that this seems a little unfair. In fact, a little unfair is putting it as lightly as you could, because let's think about this for 1 second. Let's just assess the situation. I got into an agreement with a group. The group got in touch with me first. I think that's an important point to mention. Is that they got in touch with me. We made an arrangement. I kept up their end of the deal. They completely shut me out. I was trying to get their attention by showing off. Look what I can do. Still nothing. It gets taken down. All of my stuff gets removed, and now because listen, guys, the last 5 days have been so difficult. And if you knew what sort of videos I was making a couple of weeks ago, you know that I was going through a particularly difficult time in my life. And you might imagine that this is the very last thing I needed. This trouble over something so petty and so dull and uninteresting. Because listen, guys, if you've ever been on YouTube, you know fine well as I do that there are plenty of videos on YouTube where people are uploading full movies and people are doing all sorts of crazy wacky stuff. But why aren't those videos getting taken down? Like, it could be well and good for me to just snitch on those channels, but you know what? I'm no snitch. I do not snitch on those people, because you know what? Like, is it really that tough? I mean, is it really that big a deal? Like, you can't tell me that everybody doesn't at least watch. If you could get something for free, generally you will get something for free, and especially when it's on YouTube and that, is that if you're not really, if it's not that big a deal, then just it doesn't harm anyone. Even though technically, yeah, again, the people still have to earn money and, you know, make a living in some way. But is it really that big a deal? Really? And besides, like, you know what would have really just worked out is that they brought my channels back, and I don't know, they kept Reality Zone up as well, and all I would have done is just removed all the remastered videos, and that would have been that. Like, this seems also very, very easy to resolve, because again, I'm not breaking the law, I haven't done anything illegal. I've said this before to people, is that murderers get off lightlier and get softer punishments than I do. Because, again, is this really, getting rid of all of this stuff, is it really, why? And before you say anything as well, is that they gave me the chance to appeal for this, and the general rule is you can only make an appeal twice. They sent me the same email 2 times. There was no change in the words, there was nothing different about the emails. They were all the same, and they also basically said to the tune of, there's nothing we can do. Absolutely nothing. So you know what, until Google is actually willing to play ball and, you know what, show that they're actually, you know, want to start to treating me like an adult and start talking to me like, you know, somebody who is making a very serious complaint about this sort of disgrace. In fact, if anything, the record label that Hellgone were part of, maybe they should be having words about Hellgone and about this, and see what they think about people who don't keep their promises. And yes, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know why. I even sent emails to Hellgone themselves explaining the situation. And it's been exactly 3 days, and hey, if I didn't hear from them before, there's absolutely no way in hell I'm ever going to hear from them ever again. To be honest, I don't think I ever want to hear from them ever again. They had their chance. They knew they were in the wrong from the very beginning. So I've got nothing to feel sorry for them about, because what exactly have I got to be sorry about? Because again, if you want an explanation why, just rewind the last 10 minutes and that will give you an idea about why I've got nothing to feel sorry about. Now about the videos. Well, not the remaster videos, the videos that I've managed to recover. Well, I say recover, the videos I just didn't delete just to make room for storage. There's at least 200 or so videos in all that I could release across new channels I'll just make, and I'll get to doing that eventually. But you know what? The mood, the morale has been so low. You want to know what the actual height of my morale was? Throwing myself in front of a metro on Thursday. That has been the height of my morale since this incident happened. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. And my mind has just like been going backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. And when I say forwards, not in the sense of, throwing myself in front of metros, by just literally just lying down in the middle of the street and not getting up. That's on the good side of how the last 5 days have gone. On the worst, it's resulted in stuff like throwing other people in front of metros. Literally just, oh God, it's just... So, you know what? Sooner or later, I'm going to have to talk to somebody very professional about all this. Sooner or later, I've got to tell more people, tell somebody in confidence about the things that have been going on in my head, because I cannot live like this. This is absolutely not how, in my opinion, a human being should act or think or say, because this just does not feel normal. Now, with all that being said, again, let's try and look on the positives of this. Well, positive is that I'm now a fully fledged Z fighter. That's not too bad. It's quite funny as well, is that I followed Abridged Goku, the Muffin King, for about a year now, and it never once occurred to me that, maybe I should just start reading or watching Dragon Ball. In fact, actually, where are they? Because I went shopping yesterday and stuff. I guess what I actually got, guys, it's just stuff that I could start reading from the beginning, is that I actually bought the first 3 issues of Dragon Ball Z. Now I can actually get started with reading Dragon Ball. Because as far as I'm concerned, there's not a great deal, I think, that I need to catch up in regards to Dragon Ball Z by reading Dragon Ball. Again, I've been told that it's not too necessary to just jump into Dragon Ball Z, because there's certain things I kind of already know about the lore of the show, that some guys wearing orange, one guy that looks like Shrek, have to rescue 7 Dragon Balls from this weird white and purple guy called Frieza, and this weird pink guy called Buru, or Super Buru, or something like that. I know there's certain things about that, and also Bulma is the really hot chick with the blue hair, and Vegeta is the guy who wears blue. I know there's actually a lot more about the show that I kind of known for the last couple of months, but that I'm not going to start getting into rants about Dragon Ball yet. I might even just spend the rest of the afternoon just reading Dragon Ball now, since I feel like I'm in the mood for it now, to be honest. Anyway, so larger positives is that, think about it like this, ladies and gentlemen. Even though the best part of 2 years has been, as far as Google is concerned, wiped out, as far as I'm concerned, however, ladies and gentlemen, the last 2 years have not been wiped out at all. They exist in memory. They exist in the fact that many of you people out there, maybe watching right now, have possibly seen the hundreds of videos I've made. Some of the things I've said, some of the things I've talked about, some of the conversations I've had with you guys. It's given me a very, very interesting perspective now that, bizarrely enough, such a disaster like this has happened. And the thing I want to do more than anything right now is to get right back into doing it. I want to start from the very beginning. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? I've made an awful lot of mistakes over the last 2 years. Don't we all? But that does not mean we can start again. That doesn't mean we can get better. It does not mean we should stop. We've got to keep going. If a shark stops for as much as a minute, it will drown in the sea. So a shark doesn't stop, but I'm not going to stop. No way is Big Sig over here going to stop. You know what? I feel elated. I feel great for just saying that, because you know what? Despite everything, due to the very mixed responses of advice that I've been getting off people, despite the things my family have said in regards to this, that I should be doing something more useful, despite all of that, despite everything, there's only one person in the world that can do something about this. And that person is me. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is where it begins, ladies and gentlemen. So, cue the obligatory Grand Theft Auto San Andreas clip.
Oh shit, here we go again.
And let's get started. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Perfect.